Here are some of the apps by FoodCloudPlus available on Microsoft App Source, and today we'll be discussing some of the functionalities of the Overshipping app. We'll go through an overview of what overshipping is, how to set it up, and how overshipping works in Business Central. Overproduction is sometimes inevitable in the industry. Due to many factors such as production batching methods, packaging procedures, or inventory limitations, it may be necessary to produce beyond the initial amount. Similarly, it is sometimes acceptable and beneficial to ship beyond the ordered quantity based on prior agreements with the customer. The Overshipping app by FoodCloudPlus seamlessly integrates into Business Central and helps users optimize their inventory and streamline their shipping process. In instances where overshipping tolerance is agreed upon, the Overshipping app allows users to complete a sales order, even though the quantity shipped is more than the quantity ordered. Tolerance policies are based on agreements with customers and can be set at the item level, the customer level, or a combination of the two in order to allow for greater customization and control. To use overshipping, we must first set up overshipment codes. These codes represent the acceptable overshipping tolerance allocation agreed upon by the customer. Now to do so, we would go to the overshipment codes page. Here we have some codes preset, and to create a new one, we would just click on New and enter the fields as necessary. For example, here I can make a 2% overshipment code. In the tolerance percentage field, I'd enter the numeric value of the code. We can make different codes for different items, different customers, and for different combinations of the two. In addition, we can set codes as default. For example, if I set the 2% overshipment code as default, this would mean that no matter the item or the customer, sales orders would be subject to a 2% overshipment tolerance policy. We can now take these codes and attach them to different items and customers and combinations of the two. For example, to attach a code to an item, we would open the item card. And in the Inventory Fast tab, we can see there's a field for overshipment code. Here I've applied a 5% overshipment code for the item sausage. This would mean that no matter the customer, sales orders for the item sausage are subject to a 5% overshipment tolerance policy. Similarly, to attach a code to a customer, we'd open the customer card. Here, for example, for the customer, the big supermarket. And if we scroll down to the Shipping Fast tab, we can see there's a field for overshipment code. Here I've applied a 7% code for the customer, the big supermarket. This would mean that no matter the item, sales orders for the customer, the big supermarket, are subject to a 7% overshipment tolerance policy. Now, to attach a code to a combination of item and customer, we would once again open the item card. Once again, for example, sausage. We'd click on Related, Sales, Customer Overshipment Codes. Here we've assigned a code to the customer 93,000, which is the big supermarket, for the item sausage, which is the item card we were just on. And the code we've applied is a 10% overshipment code for the combination of the item sausage to the customer, the big supermarket, meaning that sales orders for the customer, the big supermarket, or the item sausage are subject to a 10% overshipment tolerance policy. Furthermore, if items have variants, we can input their variant codes. This way, the overshipment codes would apply to variant items as well. Now that we've set up these codes, we can see how overshipping works in Business Central through a scenario. For example, let's assume we have a sales order for 1,000 cases of sausage to the customer, the big supermarket. Our overshipment code setup would be as follows. For the item sausage, we would have a 5% tolerance. For the customer, the big supermarket, we would have a 7% tolerance. And for the combination of the item sausage to the customer, the big supermarket, we would have a 10% overshipment tolerance. Now let's assume that at 11 a.m., we ship 400 cases of sausage to the customer. Then at 3 p.m., we ship 300 cases of sausage to the customer. And finally, at 4 p.m., we ship 310 cases of sausage to the customer. Now, this would mean that the customer is receiving more cases of sausage than what was initially ordered. They would be receiving about 10 additional cases. Normally, we would not be able to complete our sales order as we have exceeded the agreed upon quantity. However, with the overshipping app, we can still complete this sales order despite having shipped an additional quantity. For example, let's open a sales order. Here we have a sales order for the customer, the big supermarket. Sales order 10-10-28. It is for the item sausage, 1,000 cases. Now it's important to note that this location ALP, has warehouse shipments required. Therefore, we would need to create a warehouse shipment. Now, in the quantity to ship field, we would enter in our initial 400 cases. And if we scroll to the right, we can see that the overshipment code and overshipment quantity fields are blank. This is because no code has been applied yet. To complete our item tracking, we would enter the 400. And from here, we can ship the quantity. Next, we ship 300 cases. Once again, we can see no code has applied. Fulfill our item tracking. And we would ship. Now we have to ship our 310 cases. And when we enter this value into the quantity to ship field, we receive a notification saying an overshipment quantity is recorded. And if we scroll to the right, we can see that a code has been entered into the overshipment code field. The 10% overshipment code for the combination of the item sausage to the customer, the big supermarket, has been applied. Therefore, our overshipment quantity is now 10 cases. We'll complete our item tracking. And we will ship. Now, back at the sales order, we can invoice. And if we look at the posted sales invoice, we can see that the quantity is 1,010 cases rather than the initial 1,000 cases of the sales order. Furthermore, if we go to our sales order list, we can see that sales order 10-10-28 for the big supermarket has been closed. The Overshipping app by FoodCloudPlus provides users with an effective way to manage overshipping, streamline their production process, and complete sales orders within overshipping tolerance levels to avoid excess inventory and wastage.